Okay friends, today we're going to talk about how to make these donut sculptures. So for these donut sculptures, you are going to need newspaper, masking tape, aluminum foil, plaster, some warm water, and then some paint or some sprinkles for the final step. Okay, so step one is going to be to look in your bag, and you have 2 pieces of aluminum foil and you have some newspaper. So we're going to start with the newspaper. You need about half a sheet of newspaper. So that's like this size. Okay. And you're going to very gently kind of scrumple it up like this. Let me move this, I think. Yeah, that's making some kind of weird shadow. You're going to make a long sort of snake with it. You don't want to scrunch it too tight or your donut will be super skinny. Okay, so about like that. Now I'm going to actually set that down. And then what I want you to do is get some tape. Tear some tape off, because as soon as you get this the shape that you want, you're going to want to tape it. And if you put it down, then it will unshape itself. So you want to be able to tape it once you get the shape. Okay, so all I'm doing is turning it like this to make a donut shape. Now, once you get it the way you want it, then you're going to take your tape and tape it into place. Okay, so there's a piece right there, and I think maybe I should tape it like this. And I know it's not looking real good right now, but that's okay. This is the armature. This is the skeleton of our sculpture. Okay. All right. So there's my donut shape. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more tape here, just to kind of make sure that it stays the way I want it to. I know there's a lot of loose ends here, but that's where the aluminum foil comes into play. Okay, so there's my donut, and it's a little smaller here and a little bigger here, but that's okay, because when you go to the donut store, your donuts do not look perfect. Okay, so now you have your 2 pieces of foil. We want to wrap our donut in foil. The easiest way to do that is to actually rip your foil in half the best you can. It doesn't always like to rip exactly in half. So just kind of rip it in half so you have half a piece. Put that through the hole very gently, because it does rip really easily. And then just begin to wrap your donut with the foil. Okay. All right, so there's part of my donut that's wrapped. Now I'm going to take the other half of this foil, and I'm going to go on the other side and do the same thing. I'm going to have to stuff it through the middle there kind of gently, and then unfold it a little bit. You just have to be a little bit careful. Take your time and fold it over. And don't squeeze it too hard. If you squeeze it too hard, you're going to have one skinny donut. And I gave you 2 pieces of foil, so you should have plenty of foil to cover your whole donut. You want to make sure you don't see any tape or any newspaper. Kind of stuff it through the hole there. Just, whoops, I tore it. That's okay. That's probably going to happen to you too. Okay, do you see how it's kind of a lump here? Whoop, I'll just take that out. Push this into place. Unfold that. Fold it over. And I'm actually going to unfold this a little bit, very gently, because I think I can use it to cover up this space right here. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to take a look at my donut from the top and the bottom and make sure it looks the way I want it to look. And that was a little bit bumpy, so I'm just kind of smoothing that out a little bit. And I see this piece right here, so I'm actually going to add a little bit more foil right there. I'm going to tear a piece off and put that in, wrap that around. Oh, a little piece fell off. I kind of thought that was going to happen, but so I'm just going to get another skinny little piece for right there. So I'm just going to take my foil and rip off a skinny little piece. Okay. There we go. All right, now I like how my donut looks. Now the next step is going to be to put the plaster around my donut. So you're gonna want your plate for this. So get your plate out, put your donut on your plate so you don't make a ginormous mess, just a small mess. And we are going to put the plaster on our donut. Now what you need to do is you need warm water in the bowl that I gave you. It has to be warm so it activates the plaster. And then I want you to use the bowl I gave you because it has this lip, and you can drag the plaster over the lip to get rid of any extra water, okay? Then you're just gonna very gently rub the plaster. Now, do you see these holes that are left? That tells me that my water has gotten too cold. So I'm gonna empty my water in this little container and pour myself some warmer water. And yeah, that's warmer, so that should work better. Let's see. So I have a piece of plaster here. I'm gonna dip it in here and pull it out. And when I lay it on, yeah, see then the plaster will start spreading around, okay? And it will stick. And then you get your next piece. And I'm gonna get some more plaster down here. Okay. So pull it out, pull it on the edge, and lay it on your donut. Okay. Now I can see that that foil wants to come undone, but I think we can make that work. Okay. Just smooth that out. Okay. All right. And ready for our next piece. So I'm going to dip it in the warm water and pull it and go to the next spot and very gently rub it, smooth it out. Okay, and this is where your craftsmanship comes into play. You want to really make sure that you smooth out your plaster pieces. So I'm going to put that in and pull it out and lay it on here and smooth it out. And of course this is going to be kind of bumpy because there's foil under here, but donuts are a little bit bumpy too, depending on the kind of donut that you have, I guess. Donuts are literally my favorite dessert. I love them so much, even more than cupcakes or cake or ice cream or anything else. Okay, so I'm going to continue in this way until I get all the way around the donut. Keep applying the strips of plaster, smooth them on the inside of my donut, and keep going around the edge of my donut. Now, if for some reason maybe you run out of plaster, I really wasn't sure how much to put in, I just didn't know. If you run out, you can email me and I can put more outside for you. And you can just pick up where you left off. So like, let's say you run out of plaster right now, you just stop, email me, and I'll put it out there and you can just pick up where you left off. It won't hurt your project at all. You can actually buy this stuff on Amazon, and you can buy it on, you can buy it at like Michael's or Hobby Lobby. It's called Plaster gauze. That's what it's called. I think it's called Plaster gauze. I buy it in bulk because I use so much of it, so I have like 50 pounds of it. Okay, so this is what you do. You keep going. Once I get all the way around my donut, I'm really going to check the inside. You can see that the inside is going to need some work, okay? So, by the magic of television, I will have one that is finished, and I'm going to show you what it should look like. So, hang on one second. So this donut has been completely wrapped with plaster, and oops, I did this one earlier today, and you can see that it's all covered on the inside, on the front, and the back. So this guy is going to be ready to paint. It's not ready to paint yet because I just finished it earlier today. When you paint your donut, you are going to want to use, and I gave you some paint. You can mix your brown with your white to make a donut color, or if you want, you can go to Walmart and buy some acrylic paint. That's what I use to paint those donuts. And this kind of paint is just like 50 cents at Walmart. I didn't give you different colors because I wasn't sure what colors you'd want to use for your frosting. You can use whatever paint you have at home to paint your donut, except watercolors. I don't think they would work really well, but if you have other kind of paint, acrylic paint, that'll work just fine. Once you've painted your donut and you've drizzled some frosting on it, like I did on this one, if you want, you can add some sprinkles to your donut. So what you would do if you were going to add sprinkles to your donut is, I guess I should show you, but I'll tell you because I'll demonstrate this in class too. You would just paint this once it's dry. You have to paint it with your color. Once it's dry and you've painted the color, you're going to paint this with a little bit of glue, and then you'll put actual real sprinkles on it. And then what we'll do is we'll spray it with some glaze, and then that way it will last forever and it will be fine. And if you don't have any of that clear acrylic spray, if you drop it off at school, I'll spray it for you. But we'll talk about that more at school. This video was about how to make the armature for your donut and how to cover it with plaster. Okay? Alrighty, friends. I hope you have fun making your donut.